Hi, this is Walt Allen. It was my privilege to narrate the book Emperors and Assassins, written by Wahida Clark. What you're watching now is a promotional video for that book. I understand it's just one picture, but it's a video. This is actually the second promotional video. The first one has an audio clip from the book, a battle scene from Chapter 2. I'll tell you why we did a second one in just a minute. But first, let me tell you a little story about a hero of mine. On July 25th, 1965, Bob Dylan was performing at the Newport Folk Festival. The crowd and the concert promoters were confused when he and his band got on the stage with a bunch of heavy electrical instruments. This was a folk music festival and was supposed to be nothing more than acoustic instruments. But unknown to everyone there, Bob Dylan had released his first electric single 5 days before, the song Like a Rolling Stone. And when he and the Paul Butterfield Blues Band launched into the song Maggie's Farm, the crowd went ballistic. They began to boo. In the crowd was the American treasure himself, Pete Seeger, the beloved banjo-playing peacenik of folk music, Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger picked up a hatchet lying near a tent peg and ran for the sound booth in an effort to cut the cables in two, to cut the sound off from the band. He was stopped by two people. Bob Dylan's new direction was not well received because, and I quote, "that sort of thing just isn't done." Now, after I made our first promotional video for this book, I shared it on every social media outlet that I have, and I was told by some people that because we had added some sound effects in the clip, that it would be too jarring and it would be too distracting for the listener of an audiobook. I was told literally, and I quote, "that sort of thing just isn't done." I reflected on that for a while. I kept an open mind about it. And then I remembered for whom I was working. Wahida Clark was told that a small black woman in prison who can't type don't get to write their own novels because that sort of thing just isn't done. But she did it. Wahida Clark was then told that black female ex-cons don't get their novels published and was turned down by lots of publishers and, quote, "that sort of thing just isn't done." But she did it. She was then told that people like her don't become New York Times best-selling authors. That sort of thing just isn't done. But she did. And then when the publishers who had rejected her came back and said, "we would like to publish your next books," she told them, "I think I'd like to start my own publishing house." They told her, "well, that sort of thing just isn't done. It's real hard to do." But she did it. And now Wahida Clark is venturing into a new genre. She's venturing into the field of fantasy fiction. Now, fantasy is a genre that does not have many African-American authors, nor does it have many female authors. So needless to say, it does not have many female African-American authors. People say that sort of thing just isn't done by people like her. But Wahida Clark is doing it. So when we're told that we shouldn't do this kind of thing with the audiobook because that sort of thing just isn't done, I said sincerely, "thank you very much for your input." And then I remember who I'm working for. If we on the team think it sounds good and we think our listeners will dig it and like to hear it, and the rest of our team tells me we're going to do it, and we don't care what the rules are, okay. Because Wahida Clark is the kind of person that is not going to bow to the imaginary throne of someone that thinks they sit on one. Wahida Clark is the queen of street lit. She already has a throne. She sits on her own throne that she made herself. Nobody put her on it. So we don't care how other people used to do it. We're going to do things the way our team wants to. And quite frankly, not to put too fine a point on it, Wahida Clark doesn't need a bunch of white people telling her how things used to be done. This is her new book. Go buy it.